Well, we've seen a lot of the Winston and Sombra in pro play right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some dive heroes coming out here. It looks like everyone is cycling through it. I hope we keep these comps. This is going to be unreal. I want to see some Torb on the field, although I don't think that's going to be the case, as they haven't come out of the spawn doors yet. Looks like everyone's going to be playing pretty fast, though, with Lucio's on both sides.
Lucio's on both sides, and a Junker Queen mirror as well, as Zeb and Jesse are both showing that for the first tank pick of the match. You can see both teams coming through. Just one person to keep an eye on as well will be Ultimate Wep. We've seen them play before. No, they're an extremely strong DPS player, as both these teams are coming together on the point.
Yeah, some familiar faces here as Zeb just dives right in here into the back line. Manages to make it out completely unscathed. Z-Man picking up Poob, and she goes down for the first pick of this map.
And that's a really good start for Citrus. Now the kills are coming through for them, and they will for sure get the first cap of the match, as that is exactly what you wanted to see, maybe from the other side, Angels, but regardless, that is some fast, aggressive Overwatch, and it really worked out for Citrus.
Yeah, having Commanding Shout along with the speed amp from the Lucio is making these engagements so fast, and you can already see Danny 63% up to this blade. No nano available, so these are going to be we'll call them dry blades, and it's building up to them very quickly here.
A nice Suzu there from Z-Man. Got caught out for a moment by themselves, but they were able to stay alive in this map. And now Zeb is going to win the Junker Queen battle, as Zeb's going to get two, actually. Zeb popping off a little bit here. And this is going to be another quick fight win for Citrus. They're already up to 35 cap percentage and counting. And if these two fights are in any indication of what we're going to see, it's going to be tough sledding for Pellissippi State.
Yeah, already some very fast fights coming in, and you can see the ultimate bank is reflecting on that. Almost 5 ultimates here for Citrus. Here comes the blade from Danny.
Blade coming in from Danny, still playing so aggressive, pushing so far forward, and Orca Elite is able to get the first pick here. So even though Orca Elite didn't have their ultimate, they get the first elimination. Big Purple coming out there from Z-Man is going to allow their team to push forward, and Purple's coming out on the other side, as well as Jesse's going to pop that Rampage to see if they can get Pellissippi State moving forward in the right direction. Now Jesse with 2 kills, the Junker Queen ult doing great work in this fight, and now Pellissippi State is getting in onto this point, trying to get the cap, but there are some stragglers they have to clean up, and Z-Man has now thrown down this Kitsune Rush. That ultimate coming out from both sides here, as both teams still fighting tooth and nail for this point, but Pellissippi State are getting the kills that they need, and there should just be a cleanup, but a great stall coming out here from Citrus to work themselves up very close to the 99% mark.
Yeah, really nicely stalled out there. They did use basically all of their ultimates, though. So this is looking really good for Pellissippi State. The ultimate economy has swung a little bit. They're going to have this blade from Orca Elite ready for this fight. And there's no beat on the other side. And here comes the blade.
Blade coming out early from Orca Elite, getting so very low, 34 HP. But they're into the back line, and with the help of Fresh, they're able to get rid of McCann, and that is a very smart way to play that blade, coming out, getting a pick, and still able to accrue that cap percentage. Now Orca Elite getting in the back with a dash, and with Fresh, this DPS duo is combining perfectly to get the kills, and just like that, Pellissippi State is back in the game.
This is exactly what I was talking about before the game started. They're not waiting. They're not sitting on the point waiting, you know, for Citrus to come out of spawn. They're pushing right up, and they played it really well. And this all started with the later beat from Crumb, who has another beat available for them here.
And Pulse Bomb in early, but that is going to go wide. Fresh misses with that one, but is still going to get into the backline here before they're forced out with the recall. Now the beat comes down here from Crumb, and there's going to be a lot of sustainability for Pellissippi State, but unfortunately Jesse goes down early, and that's going to be tough. Another blade coming up from Danny, getting the kills. Poop, she was able to trade one back, but that's not going to be enough. Citrus pushing forward, and this could very well be the end of the round.
Some really nice stall happening here, though. So 78%, you can see the Kariko. Now it's going to have to try and get out. They do manage to teleport out of there, but someone's going to have to touch. Overtime is burning quickly. They do get it.
They get on the point and a Kitsune Rush as well, but Ultimate Web is able to find one with the Pulse, and that is going to be a number advantage now for Citrus, pushing forward a Light and Poop. Trade that back right away. This is such a scrappy fight here, and it will decide if Pellissippi State can stay into the round. Zeb on into the point, 90 HP and a headshot onto Fresh, and that will do it. So some nervous moments there for Citrus, but in the end they're able to pull out the first round.
I thought this was really well played. It's easy to get kind of boomed when you're behind so early like that for Pellissippi State. They came out swinging. It took them a little bit to warm up there. It seemed like this is going to be a really solid match. They started, really pushing Citrus's boundaries, not afraid to play into them. That's a lot of times what you'll see when you have these like high seed teams. Teams get a little apprehensive about, okay, we just got that fight. They have 90%. We should play a little bit more passive. They don't go for it. I love this from Pellissippi State. They come out, playing just still really fast, really aggressive here. And you can see the Junkrat out here from Danny.
And Danny Citrus is able to get onto the point first as they utilize the Sim teleporter to get there and get some early space. And now Z-Man with the first pick, finishing off Fresh. That is going to be a good push here. Citrus getting these kills quick and early. Danny already with one on the aforementioned Junkrat. And that is going to be just about as quick a fight as you're going to see, Ageless. And now with the point unlocked, Citrus is going to grab that first cap.
I talked a little bit before about we'd seen a lot of Winston play in pro. Not the case here, and I'm really liking it. Both teams opting for this Junker Queen, and the Junkrat for me is it's a bizarre pick for this, but it's really working for them. The amount of pressure that they're able to do just on the rotations, it kind of punishes Pellissippi just trying to get to the point.
Pellissippi trying to use the shout there from Jesse to get in onto the point early, but Crumb is going to be caught out and punished, and that's going to allow the rest of Citrus to get into the backline here, and they are just going to mop up once again. Danny even getting the rare trap kill in onto the Tracer, and with that, once again, we see these first two fights going Citrus's way, and they've been extremely one-sided.
So Fresh Big Pie is now moved over to the Pharah. So Pharah Mercy coming out here, perhaps trying to deal with the amount of pressure that Danny's been putting out here. A little sneaky play from the Junker Queen.
Both teams coming through here too, and Zab's able to get the Rampage in through the back, gets rid of Crumb, and even though some switches came through for Pellissippi State, the outcome is the same here. Another fight win for Citrus, and they'll probably be at about 75-80% when this next fight starts, so we could be in final fight territory here. Citrus only really needs one more if they can win it.
Danny sneaking up for the tire. Oh, gets caught out. Oh, Orca Elite just finds the Junkrat, you could see, and here comes that tire.
Danny fearless with the tire, still popping it up, even though they were found out, and they are able to get Orca Elite. So now we get the Kitsune Rush coming in onto the point from both Karikos as they are trying to will their teams forward into a win on this fight. Jesse throws down the Rampage and is able to get one. Zeb trades it out with a Carnage kill of their own. Crumb gets a Resurrection in onto Poop. And it looks like that Resurrection might be turning the fight here as both healers still alive for Pellissippi State, and they're able to get that flip.
Now with these compositional switches, they are looking for a little bit longer fights. So the longer this Pharah is allowed to stay in the air and pick at people, the better it is for Pellissippi State. And here comes the barrage right away. No value though.
Long range barrage, and that switch over to the Cassidy from Danny looks like it's paying dividends early. Now we got overtime burning away once again. Somebody from Pellissippi State is going to have to touch, and it looks like that is going to be Orca Elite with the blade that gets not too much, and that's going to do it for the first map of the day here as Citrus is going to take it 2-0.
So right at the end there, I talked about how Pellissippi was looking for these longer fights, and Citrus did not want that to happen. Pretty successfully shut this down. Just they come in, they're playing really aggressively. Unfortunate shutdown on the barrage there for Fresh Big Pie, but there's some real.
We'll be seeing different tank picks come out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This, Kings Row, you can play just about anything, including a really nasty brawl here. So it'll be really up to what Pellissippi State is looking to do here and the way that they're wanting to change up the game. I do just want to give another look to Ultima Web there. Very storied player, playing for G-Force, Young and Beautiful in the past to some pretty serious success. So if Citrus, looks like Citrus is going to be going for the Wrecking Ball composition here. So Ultima Web, with that history on G-Force, well acquainted with the Wrecking Ball composition. And you're right, yeah, we are seeing some serious swaps almost across the board. Seems like the team's prepared for the for control, but now moving things along.
And we'll see how Zeb does with this Wrecking Ball. It can be harder sometimes on the defense to set up where you want. You have to hold on to some areas, as we see Danny going for an early grapple shot, misses narrowly on the Lucio there, but is able to finish off Poob, and that will be traded out. So right away, we have a 4v4 fight happening. Ultima Web's able to finish off Fresh Baked Pie, and that's going to allow Citrus to really just wipe this fight out here. Z-Man able to get a pick as well, and that's going to do it. Like we saw quite a few times on Oasis to start maps, a very quick fight.
And that's it's going to be a little tougher for Pellissippi. You can see they're already making swaps. Jesse over to the Winston. Is Citrus this like swarm of bees comp with the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball here, and in this case, you'd often see Zenyatta played with this. In this case, we're seeing the Lucio. We're seeing a lot of pressure already being put onto Danny on this Widowmaker. Jesse just has their number.
Right there, you can see Jesse trying to get onto the high ground, but a nice boop came out from McCann to make sure that they couldn't get up onto that elevation. Danny getting very low, and there was no health pack available to them, and so they get taken down. And with Fresh Baked Pie getting a pick on the point onto Ultima Web, this is going to be the first real push here for the attack. Nice hack in onto the Wrecking Ball. Of course, Sombra very strong into that tank pick on the other side, so we'll see how that works out for Orca Elite here, as they are just trying to focus down Zeb, who drops a minefield in onto the point and gets out of dodge quickly so they can re-engage with the rest of their team here for another contest onto the point. Jesse getting back up in onto the high ground, and now we got the Ant Matrix coming out from Z-Man, trying to stay up top. Nice shots there to finish off Jesse, and just like that, with some ultimate spent, Citrus is going to hold onto the point. But Pellissippi State did get 2 picks in that fight, and they still have 2 minutes remaining onto the clock, so this is definitely not over yet.
Z-Man just cleaning everybody up there with the better soldier. Oh my. Pellissippi State still making some more of these pretty aggressive switches. They haven't spotted Zeb behind them all, though.
That was a big pile driver coming through a lot of ultimate charge area. You can see Zeb's already worked themselves up to another minefield, and now we got a huge EMP coming out here from Orca Elite. That caught on to 3, and the eliminations are not far behind. Fresh Baked Pie getting in onto the point with the Molten Core, and that is going to be a flip with a lot of style on it, but a couple ultimates being spent there as well, just the DPS ultimates for Pellissippi State. So we'll see if they can keep this momentum going through the street fades and get some good meterage on that payload.
Yeah, some more pretty reactive switches here. I kind of appreciate them going all in on getting rid of this Wrecking Ball, though. You see, and here's Danny. Oh, picks up one with the overclock. Z-Man's cleaning up again as well.
Z-Man showing up a lot in the kill feed right now, almost looking like a third DPS at times. And the map's really working for him right now. And now we can see Zeb setting themselves up for a pile driver and possibly a minefield. I can't see them spending it now. They're probably just going to roll with the pile driver and get on out. Danny was able to find another rail shot, and then 2. Danny is popping up on the Soj. Now we got to stick into the back line, but there was another recall available for Fresh Baked Pie, so they are going to live through that ultimate right now. And some wild scenes here in Kings Row in the last 30 seconds. As you can see, Zeb's back in their office.
Oh my lord, and there's the minefield that's going to shut down that door, and would have isolated the Winston, but there's a nice teleport from the Kriko to try and even the score a little bit here. A lot of pressure going on to Zeb.
Danny is absolutely on fire right now, and Crumble meets the mines, and that's going to do it for this fight. Some more time getting burned off the clock here by the defense, and even though those switches you mentioned have come through, Ageless, it looks like right now Pellissippi State is really struggling, trying to get an answer to Zeb's Wrecking Ball.
And they're just hunting Orca Elite. They eventually find them. Oh boy, that's tough. Playing so aggressive here. And this is, you know, we've seen Ultimate Web play like this before. There's no room for any teams.
And now Danny with another rail shot. It's just crazy right now, the aim coming out from that damage hero. And you can see Ultimate Web just pushing into the backline, finishing off Fresh Baked Pie. And the coordinated dive coming through with Zeb is working a treat right now. And this is still got some time left on the clock, but a long way to go for this payload. And right now, Crumble's in a world of hurt. Zeb gets hacked up, but they're able to pop the shields and make it back out.
Yeah, playing this anchor flanker style is really working for Citrus. You know, Zeb and Ultimate Web putting a lot of pressure on the team up front, and it's not really allowing them to close distance onto Danny and Z-Man, who have been just so dangerous. You can see they're just looking for some way out of this spawn. Ultimate Web with the Pulse Bomb. Fresh Baked Pie has one as well. I don't know if they're going to be using it right away. But look, it's so oppressive the way that Citrus is playing here. It's like claustrophobic with how they're all over these teams, just trying to get out of spawn, just trying to make the rotations, and they're never safe. Oh no.
A lot of ultimates here as we come into the final minute. Jesse's able to find an early pick onto Zeb. Hopefully that is going to be the opening here for Pellissippi State. They're going to push forward, finally start getting this payload moving. But there are quite a few members of Citrus up on the high ground here, ready to drop in down. And Danny's going to get the overclock through the Matrix, and they're going to get two and keep pushing forward. That's going to be a 4K for Danny with the railgun. It is absolutely perfect. Cleanup coming through. And now Citrus only has 20 seconds left to hold, and it looks like they're going to be able to do it.
And oh boy, Ultimate Web trying to cover that. Did have the Pulse Bomb, wasn't able to find anything with it there. I think they were looking for Orca Elite. Oh boy, it just, again, it's just smothering the team as they come out.
McCann even getting in on the action with the Lucio, and now we are into overtime. Pellissippi State has to stay on the point now and deal with Zeb with all those extra shields, and now the kill in onto Poob, and with McCann getting back into the back line as well. That is going to do it. And just like that, round one here on King's Row is over. That is unfortunate. Orca Elite was so close to touching, but honestly, with the beat that came out at the end as well from Citrus, I don't know how much longer they were going to make that last.
Yeah, that's tough. It's a tough place to get held on King's Row. You know, this archway, you're only afforded a couple entryways in, and they're all being shut down so cohesively here by Citrus. You know, Ultimate Weapon Zeb, you know, holding right at the spawn doors, and then we saw Danny, you know, using the overclock through the amplification matrix, just raining death from above there, and they had gotten rid of Zeb, you know. Pellissippi had sent Zeb back to spawn there, but the Wrecking Ball just gets back so fast that they were back in the fight, and I thought Citrus did a nice job, you know, investing ultimates and keeping the fight there, allowing Zeb to get back. Looking like teams are just setting up here. I'm curious if we are going to see Pellissippi making some more swaps. They have not been afraid to change up their composition. And do you just look for something completely different here?
It's possible. And like Aegis, you did mention the archway and how easy that is for a team to hold on the defense, but for a lot of that, Pellissippi State wasn't even able to make it to the archway. They were stuck in spawn for a lot of that. So this is very winnable now for Citrus. They know exactly how far they have to go, and that's going to be a really good start. Orca Elite going down to Zeb, who has switched over to the Sigma. So looking a little bit more to stay back with the team here on the Sig. Danny's able to get another kill with the Hanzo, and that is going to be Citrus getting in onto the point, and this could be an extremely fast capture.
Yeah, they're going to need to contest this. This is no time at all if they just need to make it outside the archway. But Danny's so dangerous on this Hanzo, picks up 2.
And this is looking dire now for Pellissippi State, but Orca Elite's able to get in and get 2 with the Sombra. Who gets punished on that Kariko? But you can see Zeb just sticking in onto the point, and they are doing the work here with Z-Man. The 2 of them were all that Citrus needed to get in and really lock down this point. We can see a couple staggers coming in from Pellissippi State, but it's going to be too little too late. That payload is unlocked, and frankly, not very far forward to go. And now you can see Zeb pushing up, taking this space on the streets phase, and this is rough right now for Pellissippi State. They have to get back into the action. They have to get back through Zeb to do it.
Oh yeah, this is going to be tough here, and Danny on the Bastion as well, so this is just like a full poke comp with Ultima Web sticking to the Tracer for now, building up to that Pulse Bomb. Can they even touch?
Pellissippi State is getting run over back by point B, essentially, and there's the payload going through. There was just no way for them to get back to it. Didn't even make it around the corner. Now Citrus is up 2-0. We're on to match point, Ageless, and it's going to be tough for Pellissippi State to come back in this, honestly, after these first 2 maps.
Yeah, and that was their map pick as well. It seemed like that Citrus was not afraid to flex, as we're seeing this unbelievable rail shot. This is almost an ace. They pick up the 4 and then Ultima Web.
I took some classes, I did some work, and now I can say Circuit Royale. Yeah, I went down to the annex, did the work. Here we go. So yeah, we're going into Circuit Royale. This is going to be match point for Citrus here to see if they can pull off the 3-0 sweep, or are we going to start to see a little more pushback coming up from Pellissippi State?
Oh, this is going to be interesting here from Citrus here. So Zeb back on that Wrecking Ball. Ultima Web's waiting it out here. Okay, yeah, on to the Sombra. So some more anchor flanker. Danny on the Ashe this time. Doesn't seem... They don't seem shaken at all by the map pick. Fully prepared to come out here, and Pellissippi on the other side looks to be eyeing like a full poke comp, which is pretty unsurprising, honestly. This is why you would go to Circuit Royale in the first place. You take advantage of these long sight lines.
You said it perfectly, just like that is the playbook, right? So you gotta think Citrus is going to expect something that looks like this coming out of the doors here, as we see Pellissippi State come out, and Fresh Baked Pie is gonna go right back as they get taken out almost instantly by Ultima Web. And if you're Pellissippi State, that is not the start you want to see.
Yeah, this is really not good. And oh my lord, Danny on these long range heroes. And the cleanup there from Ultima Web is just, it's right there all the time. Every time Danny is getting like a body shot or a headshot, you're just putting any kind of damage on there. Zeb and Ultima Web are right there to clean it up. And we're seeing it again. I'm surprised to see Fresh Baked Pie. Ultima Web gets found out a little bit there. No immediate translocate, waits for a little bit more attention to be brought onto them.
And while that attention was split, Zeb and Danny are able to get in the back and take out the entire support line of Pellissippi State. So no more healing left on the board. Damage is permanent, and the damage is done as Citrus takes another fight quickly. At this rate, they're going to have to win another 6 fights, but if they keep doing it this quickly, they'll be fine with it.
I do like the swap over to the Hanzo here from Fresh Baked Pie. The Sonic Arrow is going to allow them to have just a little bit more, advanced notice on the Sombra potentially. But they did not anticipate Danny up top. I've literally never seen someone up here from the attackers, or from the defenders.
I mean, that was a massive dynamite coming out from Danny, and this... We're getting into the tough mental territory. Just there was that spawn hold on King's Row, and now we got the same type of thing happening here on Circuit Royale. Danny and Z-Man are able to get 2 picks, as Zeb is not punished for their transgressions into the backline. Orb going in here onto Jesse, and that is going to make quick work of the Sigma as well. And just like that, half the time bank has now run out, and still no progress, basically, for Pellissippi State.
And no ultimates. Still no ultimates available here. Oh, you gotta check your corners, especially with Zeb on this Wrecking Ball. There's the minefield.
They put the minefield on the door. That is rough. So I guess Pellissippi State is just going to pick a different door at this point. We'll see what they can do. They were able to finish off Zeb, but now Danny's got the nano into the backline. Dynamite in. That's going to force out a Transcendence here from Crumb to try to keep their team up through this damage. And now we got the EMP in from UltimaWeb, and just so many ultimates being spent here in this fight. That is at least 4 for my count, and actually that's going to be all 5. Or sorry, 4, but not Bob yet. Danny's only at 60% to Bob, but I mean it's looking rough out there right now.
Yeah, Pellissippi does have some ultimates of their own here. They only use the Transcendence there from Crumb, and oh yeah, okay, some really nice pressure there on to Zeb. Really nicely done here, and now we're starting to see the ultimates come out. You gotta be careful. There's the hack.
Yeah, that's always so tough when you're a Sigma and there's a Sombra on the field. To avoid those manual hacks for the ultimate and to just completely shut it down is so tough to do. It's such a small window to be able to do it. And now Danny's up to a 20-player kill streak, and they're just vibing up top here. They're just, you know, feeling good, just chilling out. It's not a big deal for them. Only 30 seconds left to hold, and this so far is the smallest amount of card push I think I've ever seen on this map.
Yeah, this is just extremely impressive. I like the swapping over to the Winston here. Here comes the Bob. Jesse doesn't even make it to the ground, though.
No,
and so they... Oh, this is going to be tough. They do have the nano available. It's going to have to go onto Jesse here, but can they even touch the cart?
Well, luckily the cart's not too far away, but Danny and UltimaWeb are able to get eliminations. Now we are into overtime. You can see the spawn and the cart at the same time. They are so close together. And with this, Zeb gets a below half health, but not really punished. They're just going to back up here with their team. Danny's still undisturbed on top of this awning. Just nobody doing anything about this Ashe. And then another 2K. The EMP comes out, and that's it. It is all over, and Danny just could not be stopped, could not be moved on that Ashe. And that is going to be a definitive 3-0 for Citrus.
Yeah, that is super tough here. They're not going to have to push the card very far at all. They, you know, spawn camping did not stop at Kings Row. Pellissippi's just really starting to struggle there. They had to make some more of these swaps to try and deal with it. And you could see the amount of confidence coming out here from Citrus. Like Danny standing just above the spawn. That's well, how do you deal with the confidence alone of a team doing that? I don't know.
And Aegis, I should say it's not technically a 3-0 yet. We still have to go through Citrus's attack. But if Citrus doesn't make it through 25.15 meters, if they don't get it up that far, I will be more than shocked. You can see right now, Pellissippi State has switched over to a Reinhardt, which I don't think we have seen them play yet, so a little bit of a different look there. You got the Ashe, so you have some range. May you can split off with the walls. But this is going to be... It's going to be extremely hard for Pellissippi State to hold this. I mean, they don't have any room for error, frankly. You didn't see any mistakes come out for Citrus. There can't be any from Pellissippi State at this point, as they are trying to go for the close spawn hold, try and buy themselves as much space as possible. McCann has come out on the Lifeweaver here, trying to use a little bit of extra high ground with that pedal as they are rotating over onto this right-hand side here. Finding out, Fresh Baked Pie tried to go for the same play that Danny did up on top, and you can see how quickly they are dispatched by the members of Citrus. And now Zeb getting forward, getting the Carnage kill, and then a knife kill as well. Zeb popping off a little bit on that Jungle Queen, and now this payload is going to get in motion, and you can see once again, Citrus wins the fight, pushes up, tries to take as much space as possible, and make it extremely difficult for the members of Pellissippi State to even get back to the payload. UltimaWeb, I'm sure, has a wall loaded up if they need it, and they don't. So that is going to do it. Look to my comments earlier about the definitive 3-0 from Citrus, because it is now complete.
Yeah, you kind of had your work cut out for you as Pellissippi State there. It's such a tough defense there, and yeah, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with Danny? And you know, even when Pep goes down, or Zeb goes down.